Spoke Rogers here. Wanted to reach out to you to compare and contrast Fitbit products. I don't know if you know, but Fitbit stock has not been doing very well, and then all of a sudden it just jumped up. And you may ask, why did the stock jump up so much? The stock has jumped up so much because Fitbit has been acquired by Google. My introduction to Fitbit is due to my next door neighbor. So back in the day, probably 2013-ish, Fitbit came out with something really simple, the Fitbit Flex. And this thing is super simple. It came with a charger that you plugged in. This is the actual device. This is the actual plastic. It came in all different colors. You can buy so many off-brand colors. But this was the first Fitbit that I ever got. And I think back in the day, it was $100. And I refused to buy one because they were $100. Super expensive, but the battery life is super good. I think it lasts like 7 days in between charges. What got me into the Fitbit was my neighbors around the neighborhood all had one of these. And like I said, I always told them that, hey, I would kick your butt every week in steps if I wasn't so frugal to not buy one of these. But I ended up acquiring my neighbor's old one. He gave it to me. Thank you, Wendell Weimer, for that. He gave me one, and I started wearing it, and I did what I said. I told him that I would kick their butt, and I did. This was an awesome device. It did go out on me a few times. I called Fitbit customer support. They would send you a new one, no problem. But this would calculate how many steps you would take in a day. It also calculated your sleep cycle, showing that you were still from this amount of time to this amount of time. So kind of a cool activity checker. You know, it kept you in check. The app online allows you to join up with friends in which you can do weekly challenges, which is really cool and keeps you motivated in getting activities done. So after this came out, the second one that I got was a Fitbit Charge. And what was so cool about the Fitbit Charge is it has a heart monitor on the back of it. So when you wear this, it not only tracked your steps, it actually tracked and monitored your heart, which was really cool because like my heartbeats, you could see them go up to 170 when I was on a run and things like that. This is a great device. The Fitbit Charge, or HR, was a really good device. My son wears the HR2 now so we can track his steps because he likes to join into the fitness fun of how many steps I got today, Daddy. Oh my gosh. But this was a cool device. I think it sold for $150 when it came out. You can find them now for, I think Cole bought his for $25 on Facebook. So fairly cheap now. The only downside to this product is you couldn't change, like on the first edition, you couldn't change the band. So the band would bubble up or the band would break and then you're out, you know, $150. But this was a great device for its time. When mine broke, I had one that was given to me as a present. When it broke, I went ahead and upgraded to the next step, which I went on Facebook, the marketplace, and I found a guy that was selling a Fitbit Blaze. And this was a super cool device because it did all the things that this did and that this did, but went on to some other things to where it actually gave you like sleep patterns that would detect your REM sleep, your deep sleep, and your light sleep. So it was a pretty cool device. It obviously counts your steps, and it did a little bit more. It actually allowed you to do which activity you were doing at the gym. So say, for instance, you're a runner. You would hit run, and it would track your run and your heartbeat while you were running, how many steps you got while you're running to individual exercises that you did, which is way cool. It did have an okay battery life. Towards the end, this thing probably only lasted maybe 4 to 5 days at max in between charges. This thing allowed me to change, as long as I had my iPhone with me, I could change the music from it. It also gave notifications for text and for phone calls and calendar events. So this is really cool. Here's what it looks like. The original band that was on it was black, but you can interchange these bands, which was very easy. Heart monitor on the back. This thing slips out. It's really easy. It slips out like this. Bam, that's your device. And then bam, pop it right back in. But really cool device. The only downside to this device is it is not swim proof, water resistant. You had to be really careful not to get in the shower with it. This device lasted me for 2.5 years. Finally, I got the screen of death on it. I called Fitbit customer care because I mean they're really good about their products, and they knew that it was way out of warranty. I mean, I've had it for 2.5 years. It was an awesome product for that amount of time, and I really enjoyed it. And I wouldn't have bought a new one until it went out. So 2.5 years was the span that I spent with my Fitbit Blaze. Something that customer care did do for me is they gave me a discount on my next device. So the next device that I bought, the Fitbit Versa, they have a Versa model and they have a Versa Lite. I bought the Versa Lite model. It's a little bit more affordable. I paid $120 for it. And so far it's been a great device. I'm wearing it right now. I did change out the bands on it. Originally it came with just a regular black band. But I went ahead and opted up because I enjoy watches and smartwatches in particular, to where I upgraded to a steel band. It's stainless steel. It looks really good. The only thing about this device is it doesn't come out or anything like that. It's one device. It almost looks like an iWatch from a distance. It has one button on it. And the battery life has been phenomenal so far. So I received it on Saturday. I've been wearing it since Saturday, and I'm down to 25% battery life. Today is Thursday, as you know. So this thing has been great. This does the same thing this does with a heart monitor, step counter, sleep monitor so you can see how well you're sleeping. In addition to this, it does come to where you can have apps on it. You can change the clock face and things like that. Here's my current clock face that I have on it. It tells me the time, the date, how many steps I've had, how many calories I've burnt, my heart rate, and battery. It does have other things like your exercise modes to where you can do, run, elliptical, bike, whatever you want to choose there, alarms, relaxation mode, and weather. The weather mode's pretty cool. Not to have to pull out your iPhone every time and know that it's 46 degrees here. In addition to it, you can also change your music. The Versa, not the Lite, will actually hold 300 songs. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. You can add other apps to this, which is really cool. I added a Starbucks app. To where when I go and pick up my coffee, I just flash it through my actual watch. So it's really cool. But I paid $120 for this. People are paying a ton for iWatches, sorry. If you're a true just step counter or want to be held accountable by doing challenges and things like that, I highly recommend the Fitbit. It's a really good device. This one is swim proof, so I can swim or get into water with it. I still take it off every time, but this is really a good device. That's my feed on Fitbit. I want to know what you think about Fitbit versus the Apple iWatch or any other device. What are your thoughts? Highly recommend Fitbit. 2 thumbs up for sure. Have a great Thursday.